Sebale, your host. It's a Friday, the last day of the week, 22nd of June, and we are seeing, of course, coming to the close of the month of July, that, of course, there are several things that we might look at when it comes to the financial markets. My name is Anthony, once again, your host, and you can follow me on my Twitter handle at Anthony Sebale. You can also follow Smart24 at Smart24TV on Twitter, or you can actually visit our Facebook page at Smart24TV Official, where you can find all our content. Or besides, you can visit our website at www.smart24tv.com for more information. Also, you can catch the show every Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Here. And of course, we will be looking into matters concerning financial markets on this particular program in Uganda, in East Africa, and the global scene as well. Remember, you can also catch us on GoTV now on channel 394, and you can catch us on our live stream on YouTube at Smart24 TV as well. Thank you very much for deciding to tune in this very morning. Definitely today we have a very impactful show as we wind up the week, of course looking into what we've seen during the entire week, and also looking into what the next week might look like, or how the markets might perform, but also today in a very special way for Bank of Baroda, Uganda. It is their annual general meeting day, the 22nd of July. Definitely that notice came up some time back for the annual general meeting for the year 2022. Of course, this is coming at the time when also Bank of Baroda declared a dividend of over 25 billion Ugandan shillings that is subject to approval by the shareholders. Now, an annual general meeting, for starters, is a company's meeting together with the shareholders, together with other stakeholders like the financial managers, the custodians of the company, people like the auditors that audited the financial results, external and internal auditors, and all these people that are, part of the company, the managing directors, the CEOs, together with the shareholders, come together to discuss, and also in particular to discuss the results, the financial results of that particular company the year before. And now this particular annual general meeting for Bank of Baroda has been scheduled for 22nd of July, which is today, and it will kick off at exactly 11 a.m. Some of the maybe some issues I can highlight on their agenda as they meet at Bank of Baroda. We are seeing that there's also confirmation of the minutes of the previous annual general meeting. That is on the 26th of August 2021. And then there's also financial statements, that is to consider, if deemed fit, receive the separate and consolidated financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021. That is a report of the Board of Directors on the state of affairs of the bank, together with the auditor's report thereon. The next thing on the agenda, they'll also be talking about the dividend, like I said, to consider if and deemed fit the approval, or to approve the dividend payment payout proposal of the Board of Directors at the rate of 10 Uganda shillings per share for the financial year 2021. Now, this is a very key highlight when it comes to an annual general meeting, where, of course, these highly anticipating shareholders come to see how the company has performed, but also, most importantly, to hear if they will be going back home with something sizable when it comes to the dividend. And now you can imagine a 10 shillings dividend. That is quite something, meaning with 1 million shares, if you have 1 million shares in Bank of Baroda, you're walking away with 10 million. That's exactly what this dividend means. Now, they're going to also consider, if deemed fit, to ratify the appointment and reappointment of the directors in accordance with the company's articles of association. And also, these appointments might include, for your own knowledge, Mr. Sanjay Vinayak Mudala, who is a non-executive director on the board of the Bank of Baroda. We're also seeing that there's a reappointment of Mr. Sempi Jathadius, who is a non-executive member also of the bank, and also reappointment of Vastina Ruku-Mirana Nsanze, who is also a non-executive director. There's also reappointment of Dr. Fred Kakongoro Muhumuza, who is also a non-executive director, as well as reappointment of Mr. Odoch Charles Langoya as a non-executive director. That is also one of the key highlights of annual general meetings. When shareholders come together, they definitely have to look into the governance of the institution they are investing in. And sometimes there are new appointments to certain positions, and sometimes we have reappointments like we have seen here for the case of Bank of Baroda. It's upon you as a shareholder to make sure that the company you're investing in is being governed by the people you have chosen, or rather approved by appointment. And so we are seeing that they give shareholders a chance to vote on some of these positions or reappointments or appointments to see that the shareholders have a say in the governance of their company, because definitely this is their company, as they have shares in a company, meaning they have ownership of this company, and so they must have a say on who holds what position and who leads the company. And that's a very important success indicator for any company, to have competent leaders chosen democratically, but also with the competence to be able to drive growth of the company. And now, the other highlight for the annual general meeting we are seeing here is the auditor's reports. Now, to consider and, if deemed fit, approve the reappointment of Ms. Grant Thornton, certified public accountants, as the statutory auditors for the company for the period ending 31st December 2022, and their remuneration as approved by the board of directors. So another role of the shareholder is also to approve the appointment of the auditors for the firm. If you feel like the auditor should be reappointed, yes, you go ahead and approve that. That is also still part of what we call the annual general meeting. Now, there's also any other business on this program, and of course, to transact any other business that may be legally transacted in the meeting, it will be also conducted. And now, that was, of course, a notice signed by Miss Anne Tumwesije Mbonye, who is the company secretary back in 21st June 2022. Now, the meeting, the shareholders have been urged to follow some of the guidelines as authorized by the Articles of Association. The company will be holding their annual general meeting online. So most of it will be online. And then to participate in the AGM, shareholders should register by some of the following steps, as you can be able to know. Shareholders with the email address will receive details on how to register and log in into the online meeting. Or for those who wish to use the USSD, you can dial star 272 hash, no, star 272 star 101 hash, and that is using Uganda mobile networks. And you follow the prompts or send an email to request for registration at registry@use.or.ug. And of course, shareholders without emails in the shareholders register will be contacted via SMS on their registered mobile phone numbers, and will be requested to avail the addresses or to the company's share registrar, SCD registrars at registry@use.or.ug. Now, this meeting definitely will kick off in about the next 40 minutes. But if you're a shareholder, you have to know that this is going to be an online meeting, a virtual meeting. And so you can visit the USE website to request registry. and definitely take part of this very momentous meeting that must be one of the things that should be on your to-do list if you are a shareholder. Like I've said, they are planning to see that they subject this dividend of 10 shillings per share to approval of the shareholders, and definitely that is also a very key highlight of such an event. Maybe about Bank of Baroda, it's a very well-known company on the stock market, one of the very first companies to be listed, and it was incorporated in 1969 as a subsidiary of Bank of Baroda India, one of the leading banks in Asia. It has over 2,750 branches in over 17 countries around the world. The bank has been operating in Uganda since 1953, when it began as an overseas branch of Bank of Baroda, India. Subsequent to its incorporation, the government of Uganda actually acquired 49% shareholding in the Bank of Baroda, but of course the remaining 51% was for Bank of Baroda, India. Now Bank of Baroda is one of the main international banks in Uganda, with over 6 branches around the country, offering a range of products including savings and current accounts, custodial services and brokerage, as well as investment advisory. However, their brokerage firm called Baroda Capital recently closed down. It shut down business, and so they're no longer operating under the brokerage arm of financial services, but rather now into the banking sector. Now, Bank of Baroda on the Uganda Securities Exchange is the 13th most valuable stock, and on the USE, with the market capitalization of over 213 billion. That's the value of shares listed on the USE, that is per the Bank of Baroda counter, and which is about 1% of the Uganda Securities Exchange equity market. Now, looking into some of the pricings, we see that the price is at averages of around 85 Ugandan shillings, and when we see the 4-week performance, we see a 6.02% increase in the last 4 weeks, but on a 3-month performance basis, we see a decline of 5.56%. And Bank of Baroda began the year with the price of 95.5, and that indicates a performance of over 11% off the price valuation since the beginning of the year, at 95.5 down to 85 Ugandan shillings, ranking it the 8th in terms of year-to-date performance on the Uganda Securities Exchange. However, of course, shareholders can maybe be comforted by the fact that by a 6% increase in Bank of Baroda share prices since June 23rd, it is the 4th best counter on the Uganda Securities Exchange based on monthly performance. Bank of Baroda is notably the #1 most traded stock on the Uganda Securities Exchange over the past 3 months, that has traded over 57.7 million shares in just the last 3 months, considering the month of April 12th to the month of July 21st. And we see a total of about 4.56 billion that has been traded, and about averages of 915,000 traded shares per session. A volume high of over 27.5 million was reached on July 13th, just this month. A few days ago, we saw a single transaction, a trading session have over transactions of 27.5 million shares on just a single day. So in terms of activity, Bank of Baroda is the leading counter. It is one of the most traded on, actually the most traded on counter on the Uganda Securities Exchange. That's a little bit about Bank of Baroda. If you are a shareholder, just a humble reminder, the AGM is about to kick off in the next 23 or so minutes. You should catch it. Make sure you be able to take part in decision making, because as a shareholder, this is your mandate, this is your right, and this is your responsibility to see that you listen to the directors, the managers, and also the auditors to see how the company is run. And definitely it's going to be an online meeting, so you no need to travel wherever you are, in your office, in your maybe in your business. You can watch and be able to log into the annual general meeting. Thank you very much for remaining with us. We're going to take a short break and we return with the stock market performance of USE yesterday.